Hey guys, so I've been working on some GoPro mounts. I got myself 2 GoPros, actually 1 GoPro and a knockoff GoPro for Christmas. And I wanted to make some mounts for the rat rod here. I've always wanted to kind of have a lot of footage as far as like driving and stuff. And I thought it was kind of a cool opportunity to make some custom mounts. I'm trying to do it on budget because GoPro mounts themselves are like 50 bucks each, and that's just ridiculous. Basically, GoPro kind of took over the market with this mount. They kind of made a monopoly on the market because they have to have this custom mount. It's not the standard quarter 20 thread that most cameras are. So you have to have this custom mount here. But I made this little adapter here. Basically, it's at a 1032 thread. This is threaded right here. This goes through, and basically this just gets sandwiched on there. So it's sandwiched in there and it's strong. And then I got a weld nut on the bottom here, so this can thread on. This actually threads onto my mount here. That's just a standard quarter 20 thread. Then you got the turnbuckle here to tighten it. You just kind of go like that. And this is on a magnet set up here. Obviously this is a rusty truck, so I don't really give a shit if it scratches it. Basically there was a shaft on this magnet. That was also a 1032. So I got a little space under there with a nut, or as a nut is the spacer. And then I got this washer here that I had drilled out for this quarter 20 threaded rod to go through. So if you look closely, it's welded under there. And then I just tightened it up with this nut up here. So basically, I can actually position this and spin this any way I want. Spin the magnet, and I can spin this if I loosen this nut. So I can really put this in any position I want. And then I can adjust like all the other stuff, just on like a standard GoPro. You know, you can do all that shit. So that's a pretty cool setup, and then you can take out these, whatever. Like I said, I thought it was ridiculous that GoPro is really the only camera company that has their own custom little, or their own style mount, so it doesn't work for the like universal style like everything else. But you can get around that if you make that little adapter. It wasn't too difficult. Then I also, I thought a good idea here would be like a C-clamp. So I had this old kind of shitty C-clamp, and then I actually put on quarter 20, welded on quarter 20 bolts, and then you just got these nuts for locking. And then you can have, there's a quarter 20 rod. This just kind of, then I got a bolt or a nut down here and just thread that into it. Got the tightening nut here. I don't know if you can really see. But yeah, I got all sorts of different angles, so I can do this really any way I want. I got it on both sides. Kind of looks like a clusterfuck, but it'll work good. And this thing was just cheap, so it's like $5. You know, you have a C-clamp, and then there's a couple dollars in bolt, or $1 in bolts and welding and whatever. And then you have a cheap GoPro mount for a lot of different angles. You could also use this on like bumpers or whatever, anything that you don't want to scratch. And another thing, if you're worried about scratching, you can always put, like, say, a cloth in between here, or with this magnet thing, I was thinking if I were to get like a bigger magnet, like one of those, a really nice welding one of those like $20, $30 ones, you could actually use that and then just put like a towel, like something soft in between, make sure it's really clean, and then it'll actually magnet through the material, but it won't scratch. So just be careful about that. This is obviously rat rod, so I don't care. Here's another one that I thought up. This is just a regular A-clamp or whatever the hell they're called. This one's plastic, so I could easily drill through. So you got that drilled through. Got the bolt going through there. I got another angle there. Then I got another one here. So really this can really go anywhere. And then this one actually has a safety loop because this one's, it's not quite as strong as the rest. So I actually used a loop off my camera here, wrapped it around here. So if this does fall, worst it's gonna do is hit the side and bounce off, but whatever. And also I have a lot of cameras, so I tend to use the less expensive ones, obviously, for risky shots. Here's another mount. This one actually came with my knockoff GoPro, which is right here. It's got a waterproof case. This is the waterproof case for it down there. This one was like 50 bucks at Walgreens. It's an Emerson. It's obviously not as good quality, but it'll work. This mount right here actually came with that. This is a handlebar mount, so this right here, see, it just mounts on handlebar. Then you can loosen this up. Spin this. I actually like this mount a lot. It's kind of cheaper quality because it's not a GoPro brand, but I like the way it's set up, and then it's just a standard quarter 20 plug in there. And then I also have the suction cup here. This was actually, my dad used to be a metal man, and he used to work in a fab shop where they did a lot of sheet metal stuff. So this is actually called a finger cup or whatever. So basically there's just a bolt on here. There's just a bolt on here, and basically you just suction cup this to metal and you can easily pick up a whole sheet. It's worked good for this though. I've had this on here 3 days now and it hasn't even moved, so it's really strong. Another thing you can do for these is I've seen people use like just a little itty bitty clear suction cups, you know, like what you put on fuzz busters that attach to your inner window. You can do that, and then so you just take 2 or 3 of those, line them up, and then you make like a angle iron that goes through there, and then something with a quarter 20 threaded nut on there, so you just spin it on and then suction cup it up. That works pretty good. Otherwise, if you can get a hold of these, you can also use these on paint, but it has to make sure it's really clean, because anything that's suction cupped is just going to be moving around on there. So if you have dirt in between the suction cup and the window, or the suction cup and the paint, it actually can move around, so it might scratch your paint. So you got to be careful of that. And then another thing I'm doing here, I got this big ass magnet. We've had this thing around here forever. It's really fucking strong. So what I'm gonna do, it's got those holes drilled in it. This is what we use to lift it, but basically I'm gonna build a plate or a little device or whatever platform that bolts into these holes, and it's gonna come up. Then I'll have something off here, and then I'm gonna have like a rod actually come off of it, so I can do like shots of like from here when I'm driving. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm not sure how stable it's gonna be just because it's a longer pole, but this thing's pretty damn strong, so I have I have a lot of faith in that. I thought that was kind of a cool idea, just stuff that I have sitting around. That's kind of what I'm trying to do for you guys. I think it's ridiculous that GoPro kind of monopolizes the market like that. So if there's ways for cheap people to avoid stuff cheap like that, I think it's good for everybody, except them, of course. But yeah, I think that's basically, those are some pretty easy mounts. I think this one is probably the easiest and cheapest, just because I had it, I guess. But this one I had too. But yeah, those will work out good. And then there's also this cheap GoPro thing. Came with a headband kind of deal, and then some cheap fucking, I don't know, it's supposed to be for a helmet. This stuff's supposed to be for a helmet, but you can also use this, kind of like zip tie it onto wherever, and the camera just slides on there. You can really get creative with it. There's a lot of little cool things that would work out. So if you guys have any other tips or other kind of GoPro ideas, I've seen a few other ones on the internet. These are just kind of the ones that I thought maybe probably everyone would have. I mean, everyone has one of these sitting around, or most people have C-clamps, so I thought that was kind of good. Just give me ideas, suggestions. I'll keep working on more, and then I'll get some video for you guys and use these mounts. Thanks for watching.